Hello, everyone, and welcome to Co-Creation Station, the podcast where we talk about the law of attraction, the art of allowing, spiritual magic, the mind-body-spirit connection, and how best to enjoy this mystical, miraculous, mysterious, crazy, sometimes confounding, but always incredible journey we call life. My name is Collin. I'm a teacher, tarot oracle card reader, and I'm a singer and guitarist in the rock band Red Treasure, and I am located in beautiful, sunny North Hollywood, California.
My name is Stephanie Orlina. I am a transformational life coach and I help people shift away from negative thinking. And I am in San Diego, California.
We want to thank you so much for listening and watching the show. I messed up the grammar on that. Thank you so much for listening to and watching the show. Sorry. At this time, we're posting a brand new episode for you every single Monday morning. We really appreciate you doing whatever the platform you're consuming us on allows you to do to support us. Like us, follow us, subscribe to us, leave us a comment, write us a review. We're super grateful to you for all of that. We love hearing from you, and all of that also helps other people find the show for the first time, which is super important. Each week, we start our discussion from a different jumping off point. And this week, I sort of started right before this, before we started recording, saying there's this principle, and I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it's to do with the art of allowing, and I think it would be a good topic. And then I sort of explained it to you, Stephanie, and you were like, oh, and you said this one sentence that like completely crystallized it. So
The tighter I grip something, the less control I actually have.
yes, which is like the opposite of what everybody believes. Not everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's what most of us do that, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of things, well, not a lot. There's some things that I think, especially the ones I'm emotionally attached to that I really want, but then I'm
Mm,
like, but how? Or, I have this story that isn't a cooperative component story
yeah.
that is actually like holding it back as opposed to attracting it to me. And so, yeah, this was really good. And I was trying to think, I wrote it down. I've had it on my desk for several weeks now. And I think I was working with a client and something she said, and I was like, oh, I have to write that down because in that moment I was walking through something that I was, kind of doing that tightly grip thing, and it was like, oh yeah, just like let go, and so there it is. That was for you, Colin. It was for you at the time, and now it's for you.
Yeah, I want you to tell your story that you said you had, but I was just thinking about how sometimes in my life, and I observe it with other people too, but I definitely have done this where there's either something I want or something I don't want. And in,
Yeah, it works the opposite too, doesn't
yeah, instead of, doing what we talk about every week here on the show, like trying to think thoughts that help me feel good, get my vibration, my energy, my emotions going in a positive direction. What I will do is like it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction. Like I do something, I take an action where the intent is like I myself, without help from the universe or higher power or anything, I'm gonna grab this problem or challenge or thing that's not going the way I want it to, and I'm gonna wrestle it to the ground with my effort. I'm going to effort this into being the way I need it to be or the way I think it ought to be or whatever. And every time I've ever done that, I've made the situation worse. And so one of the many things that I try to, just practice and get better at over time with my study of the art of allowing is in those sort of situations where I feel like the situation isn't how I want it, or there's this thing I want to manifest, it's not manifesting, I need to
it?
um, letting go at that point and going, oh, whatever I was gonna do out of that energy, I'm not doing that, and I'm just gonna chill. Maybe a better idea will come to me when I'm in a better place, but for now the most important thing is just don't do that thing that my ego or my will is screaming for me to like go do this, go grab it and wrestle it, we'll fix it.
Right,
But
right.
it's hard because a lot of times these are things where it's like um, I've had this experience where I've been looking for a job, and I've been looking for a while, and I don't have the job that I want coming to me yet. And it's very easy to be like, well, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to send
Mhm.
20 resumes and I'm going to send 30 LinkedIn messages.
And
It's
and
like, that's
and
not
I
going to help.
and I forget that I already asked in that contrasting situation, whatever
Yeah.
that was, that made me when I know clearly what I don't want, I know very clearly in that moment what I do want. Even if I'm not conscious of it, energetically, it's
Yeah.
there. And as we were saying in the last episode, it's created. My higher self is focused on it 100% laser like. Law of attraction is responding to my inner being, higher powers, higher self's focus, and all cooperative components are gathered. But I'm over here going, like you're saying, I don't want to be here at this job, or whatever it is, or
Yeah.
this isn't, I don't want to work with this person, or da da
Yeah.
da. I hate my job, whatever it may be. And I'm not 100% focused on what I want, or I'm not saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm here today. Like, I love Mike Dooley. He has a great story about how he was at a job that he did not like. And when he started practicing this modality, he was like, okay, I just started practicing. Like at work, I was just happy because I knew what I wanted was coming because I was visualizing it. And so I started appreciating my job and my coworkers and what I was doing. And then within a few weeks, he got a job opportunity that he absolutely loved. Something had happened. I don't remember exactly what it was. Um, but okay, so I'm gonna tell my story.
Yes.
So I would say it's almost been 9 months. Because I bike, I hike, and I walk. So I got that down. And then it was the other thing is the resistance training, like strength training,
Mhm.
to build muscle. I wasn't lifting weights, and I'm not into that. But I need something to like, because my upper body, the strength is like decreased over the years.
Mhm.
And so I thought, oh, resistance bands. So I started looking. I went to Target, and then I went to Big Five Sporting Goods. I even looked at Amazon at one point, and the ones at Target didn't look that great. I couldn't find what I wanted, so I was like, ah, the heck. So had been going on for a while now, several months. And whenever it would come up, like even Dr. Chris, we would talk about it, and I would be like, yeah, I need to get those resistance bands. And then I'd be like, yeah, but I can't find them. So this past Friday was my birthday, and had a great birthday. And then I decided to go to Dave and Buster's, which, if you don't have them where you're at, it's a dining and beverage place, but then that's half of it, and you can watch sports events on TV, and then the other side is just arcade, like straight up full blown arcade. And so I'm like, I'm gonna take $30, and I'm gonna go load my card, and I'm gonna go play. They have a couple of games that I really love, and I'm super excited because my little girl, my inner child, loves to go and play. And I'm walking around. There's a ton of people there, and I find my one game I like, and I'm playing. And I've been playing this game for a few years now. This is the first time. It's some kind of, what is it, get caught or treasure hunt. And there's a treasure chest. You and I have played at Belmont Park. The treasure chest, and rarely does the chest open up and a squid will come out and he'll circle the treasure
Oh,
chest.
Get Hooked, the
Yes,
under
yes,
yeah.
yes.
It's this underwater adventure where you're trying to
Yeah.
harpoon various fish.
There's all kind of
Yeah.
fish floating by. There's a huge shark, but he's
Yeah.
got all these like swordfish sharks like
Yeah.
protecting him, and you want to get that one because I think if you harpoon
So
him,
this
you
is
can get
for people who don't know, it's a video game. Like you go to this arcade, they have it at
right.
different places,
Yeah,
but it's a video game that you put in money or a
and it
card and you play.
harpoons. You have a little controller, and it'll harpoon fish, and you'll
Yeah.
get points. I like this game.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get the shark, and I don't. And I'm playing for a while. All of a sudden, the squid comes out, and he's circling, and I'm like, oh, and I gotta reload, and and I'm
Because that's the
trying.
biggest prize you can get if you
Yes.
hit it. Yeah.
So it's funny because it was almost like God going, okay, girl, I'm gonna give you. He's gonna circle several more times.
I feel like Get Hooked is a strong metaphor for life. I just like
And I'm like trying, and fish are swimming by, and then all of a sudden I harpoon it, and the board just lights up. The screen lights up, and all these tickets come flooding out, and I get 1,000 tickets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, unbeknownst to me, I had already had tickets on this card from when I was there before. And so I go to check, and there's like over 2,000 tickets on it. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if in the little prize section, if, sometimes they're outrageous and they want 10,000 tickets, right? So I thought, I'm
Mhm.
just going to go and circle the room and see what's out there. So I really take my time. And I'm looking, and I consider one thing, but I don't. And then I get to the very end, and there's this box of resistance bands.
Oh, that's so great. That's hilarious.
And so,
I totally forgot about the beginning of the story.
and because I am the
Funny.
woman that I am, I start to open up the box, even though it's taped. Because I'm not just going to buy them and then take them home and find out they're not the quality I want. So I slowly pull them out, and here's one of them. They have different levels. It says level 1. I
Hmm.
like level 5, which is there's 5 of them. So, and these are really great bands. And they were like 1,000 tickets, so I still have 1,000 or more on my. And I walked out of there like, oh my god, like I've been wanting bands for many months. Did I ever, in my wildest dreams, I'm gonna go to David Buster's and get some resistant bands? Like, never, ever. So we just don't know. Like, we don't know. We don't know. Like, just like. However, I will say I was super excited to go there. I played Pac-Man beforehand in the lobby, and then I was treating myself and loaded my card, and all the while there was some resistance because it was super loud. I was kind of warding off a headache, but I was also joyful. It's my birthday weekend. I want to come here and play, and had a great time, and then got something that I had been wanting amongst all the other things. I had a really great time.
So for people, it's also, I guess, in different. It gets that game gets sold under two different names. Like
Yeah,
some
it
places
is.
it's called
It's
Get
multiple.
Hooked.
It's
In other
multiple
places
names.
it's called Harpoon Lagoon.
Yes, yes.
I'm just gonna share my screen. This is probably a
Oh,
copyright
awesome.
violation, but just to, if you're listening to the audio version, you're not going to be able to enjoy this. But for if you're watching the YouTube video, you can sort of see what this is. So you have multiple players and at different parts of the table. This is at a Dave and Buster's actually.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say because that looks like the one that I was at.
So there's all these different types of fish floating around at different speeds and different directions, and sometimes
I
there's a
see the
bunch.
harpoon. I love the
Yeah,
harpoon. I think it's like
yeah,
an arrow, and yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty cool.
So your job is to like sort of hook these fish, and you see that treasure chest in the middle there. It's on the left side of the screen right now, but like every great once in a while, it opens all the way. You see these little
It's
eyes
really
sticking out of it.
rare. Like I've been
Yeah,
playing for a few years now. You and I have played. I don't know.
yeah,
Did it ever open up when you and I were playing?
yeah,
It did.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Yeah.
I mean, I remember a little kid getting it you and I were
Yes,
playing, and
yes.
the
He was
little
there with
boy
his
was
dad. I
playing.
remember
Yeah,
that. Okay, yeah.
yeah,
And see, the shark just went by, and there's all these little smaller sharks.
yeah,
There's Jaws. It's like a Jaws, a big white whale.
yeah.
Big great. What are they called? Great white? I don't
Great white
know.
sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's other these little sharks protecting it, so you can't harpoon it. And I swear, I almost hit the shark, the big one, and its tail goes like this, like woo, like it's all like, oh no, you're not gonna get me. He moves his body. I'm like, you son of a gun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
my little kid loves this game.
when you're playing the game, obviously, like the harder the fish is to catch, there's all these different types of fish. The harder it is to catch, the more points you get, and
Right.
then you get tickets for redeeming things based on how many points you got.
Yeah.
And so, like that, I think it's a killer whale. Actually, is the one that flies by
I think
really
of
fast.
Jaws. Yeah, I think of
Yeah,
Jaws because
yeah, but that's a killer whale. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
that's one of the hardest ones to get that appears
And I
regularly.
want to say I think that one is 750 tickets.
Yeah,
So then when the
Because
squid
I've
gets
been with you
fed,
before where you've gotten that
yeah.
twice.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Well, and
It's like
because you and I, when we're
ridiculous.
hanging out, like we just have so much fun together. So
Yeah,
our energy level, like if my energy level is at a sometimes a 5 on
yeah,
average, like when we're together, my energy level is like a 9 or 10. Like, and
yeah.
so like the coolest stuff happens. And I know like I allowed in getting the shark twice because I was super happy as we were hanging out and we were at eh, our a card arcade arcade game. So yeah.
Um, Another interesting thing about that game, I don't mean to talk about Harpoon Lagoon for the whole episode, but um, I mean, one thing about the squid that in the middle in the treasure chest, like as you're saying, like you have no control over whether that will even appear during your game or not.
Yeah.
So you
Oh yeah.
definitely can't control that.
No.
But the other thing is that the most valuable, I think the other thing that's really metaphorical for me is that because it's a harpoon, it's not a gun in the sense that you just fire at something and it immediately hits whatever you're aiming at. It's a harpoon in the old style of like whaling ships from centuries
Yeah.
ago, where
Yeah.
you fire the bolt or whatever it's called, and it takes a while to get to the fish that
Yeah.
you're aiming at. And so
And there's
if
a rope attached, so then the
right,
rope
and it's
pulls it
tied to a
out.
rope, and
And then
yeah,
there's all kinds of fish swimming will start to swim in front of
right.
it.
But the thing is, like, you can't, like, for the most valuable fish, especially, you can't just like look at it, aim, and shoot. Like, you have to like, there's just this element where you have to fire ahead of time and trust that the harpoon's going to get to that fish at the right time when that fish is in the spot. And I feel like that's just such a metaphor for me because so again, last week I think we talked about the water slides. It's like
Oh yeah.
I always want to just have a gun where it's just like I want something
Boom.
that's
Yeah.
I'll do
Yeah.
this action and then I get the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in Harpoon Lagoon, you actually kind of have to be like, well, I'm going to fire and I'm just going to trust that it's going to get there at the right time.
Well, and kind of like what we were talking about last week is true for this is like I kept trying, like with the shark, the big shark. I wanted him, and I
We were
wanted to
talking.
get him, but I would miss, but I kept trying. And like when you were talking last week about finding a place, you didn't give up, you kept trying.
Yeah.
And I think that's like sometimes, and I've done this in the past, and I'm so thankful I was healed from it, and shouldn't say I don't do it anymore because watch it pop up. I rarely do this anymore where I'll set a goal, I'll work at it, and then if it doesn't happen in the time frame that I expect it to, I just give up or I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And I thankfully some of that's been healed and I'm like the turtle now more. It's like don't do 1 foot in front of the next. I eventually
Yeah.
get there. Um, but it's like don't give up. I love that.
Yeah.
Fall down 7, get up 8. Like just keep trying. Because I didn't know I was going to get that squid, but I remember that thought going through my head because I was like, hurry up! Like I'm trying to, and I had to reload because I had run out of time and money, and so I had to stick my card in the slot again to get more arrows. And he was just still circling, like and I remember thinking, oh, God's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep having them circle. Like you're gonna have opportunities to keep trying.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I love that Abraham Hicks says is, we have this phrase, at least in America, where that people say all the time of like, um, I hope I don't. It's something like, well, we use the phrase like when my ship comes in, and
Yeah, yeah,
it makes you think that like when you want something, there's this one opportunity.
right.
And if you miss it, it's lost forever. Like,
Yeah,
and it
that's
puts
that
all
whole
this,
limited thinking, right?
yeah, it puts all that
That's
pressure on you to be like, well, I hope my ship comes in. And I love how Abraham Hicks says, like, the reality of how the universe actually works is ships come in all the time.
yeah. There's another ship.
They
And
come in, they
another
dock,
ship, and
they
another
leave,
ship.
another ship comes
Yeah,
in.
I love
So it's
that
like
too.
this kind of thing, like, and I can really get, I've lived in two of the biggest cities in America, New York and Los Angeles. And we kind of have this joke in those two cities. It may be in other cities as well, but it's like it feels like you're always looking for either a job, an apartment, or a romantic partner, or multiple of those at every point in your life in these two cities. And if you like the times where I've been looking for one of those things, like a place to live or a romantic partner or something, if I am trying too hard and I'm in this energy of like, I gotta get, da da da. It's just this thing. It's like you say, like the by trying to grip it harder, it's like it pushes it further away in time because my vibration is not a cooperative component to bringing it in.
Relaxed
So
and
there are these times where it's just better to just chill out, and it's not that it's not. I'm not. I feel like sometimes that can be interpreted as like don't take any action, which that's not what I'm trying to say. But it's like
you could
actually,
still not do that. You could still do that and
well,
have it happen.
it's just the question is just the energy. Like I've had people, I know people who are really good at finding a new job, and they do send out like they do way more than me. Like they send out resumes every day. They check their LinkedIn 3 times a day. They respond to every message, but they are confident that they're going to get something out of that. So it's not about how much effort or what you do. It's like your energy. Like they're convinced that if they do that stuff, they're definitely going to get a great job.
Our beliefs, yeah,
Yeah.
our thoughts and our beliefs.
Whereas you can flip that around, and if I am looking for a job and my dominant belief and thought is, oh my God, it's so hard to get a job. Oh my God, I've got to send out 100 resumes today, otherwise I'll never get a job. What if I don't get a job? Like it doesn't matter how many resumes I send out. Like I'm not getting a job that day. You know.
I like the way you said that. I'm not going to get a job.
That's just a day. Like chill out. Like So.
But I think too, like it's okay because even with anything and everything that I've ever manifested, there was always some doubt, some resistance. However, or some kind of I was in some type of negative vibration. Yet, kind of like what I've said before, as long as you're 51% in that better feeling range than 51% in the negative range, that 51% makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And so it's not that it's this joy ride to whatever I want and to everything I want. There is going to be some negative emotion of some kind. I've had that experience with almost everything that I've manifested.
Yeah.
However, I was either more happy, more thankful, more relaxed, more joyful, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There was more of that energy than the negative, fearful, worry energy.
That was something that occurred to me to mention last week in our discussion, and I forgot because we moved on sort of to a different topic. But it's just like that. I think, at least in my experience, if I get information that does not feel good, like, well, it could be anything. I'm going to probably have an initial reaction of maybe some negative thoughts, but sometimes emotion. Like if you get information that you didn't anticipate, and initially it seems like it's not that great. Yeah. At least for me, it's natural for me to feel maybe some fear, maybe some frustration, maybe some disappointment. But it's like after that, if I can pivot to not worrying, then that's going to help alleviate or bring what I want much faster. If I take that initial reaction of worry and then really get into worrying a lot, that's what's going to keep, it's just going to delay.
And even you said not worry. I'm like, you can still worry, but then catch yourself. And
Yeah.
Be like, okay, I'm going to
it's going to be okay. Yeah.
Or I'm going to, say whatever. Like for me, I'll say like the serenity prayer or, the set aside prayer I really love or something, or, anything that helps me feel a little bit better. Instead of going down that train. Like, oh no, the sky is falling.
Because worry just doesn't help. It doesn't, it just doesn't help.
But it's natural, right?
It is,
talking about like the whole lizard brain thing.
Yeah.
It is just innate in us to worry. And I was telling a friend yesterday, like I've worked really hard over the past several years to shift my thinking to where I just have a more positive outlook.
Mm,
And not to say that I don't worry, because I do, but that in the morning, for me, it's like, let me meditate first thing, because I know that helps me.
yeah.
Or let me listen to, YouTube and listen to Abraham, or read, I have their books in my bathroom and let me read them. Whatever, I've got a ship ton of, like, here, I have this nice little greeting card my next door neighbor gave me a long time ago that says relax on it.
Mm.
And that was when God was really giving me my attention and sent relax to me in one weekend 3 different times. The other two were like a big billboard on the highway, off the highway, and so those kind of things. Relax, it's done. I love this one. I just recently wrote down. Um,
You want to say it aloud for the audio people?
I was trying to read it, but I'm reading it backwards.
Oh.
Better than the best.
Mm.
I love this one. I just recently. I now choose to create a life that is joyous and abundant. I handle all my experiences with wisdom, with love, and with ease. And then I think you and I have talked about this one, maybe not. I Googled on YouTube, I searched law of attraction and entertainers. And an interview with Jennifer Lopez came up, and she was saying, "Oh, yeah, I believe in the law of attraction. I use affirmations all the time." And she says, "I am open and receptive to all the goodness and abundance the universe has to offer."
Yeah, that's great.
I love that one. That's my new.
So if you're feeling that impulse to like grip the situation, you can just follow the advice from two musical artists. First of all, would be Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax, don't do it.
Yeah, relax.
And then follow Bobby McFerrin's advice of don't worry, be happy.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of great songs out there that have that.
Yes.
Three Little Birds by, is it Bob Marley?
I've never heard of that.
Don't worry about a thing.
Oh yeah, I've heard that song a million times. It's called Three Little Birds.
Right. Yeah, it is.
I never knew the title to that. That's
And
great.
there's a country song by Jason Aldean? No, Kenny Chesney, and another, and they're like in a bar, and the bartenderess. Let me see. I have it in my playlist. So playlist. I called it Relax and Trust. It is Everything's Gonna Be Alright by David Lee Murphy and Kenny Chesney.
Yeah.
A Journey's got a great one, Don't Stop Believing. They don't say it till the very end. Don't stop believing. And my latest favorite, because of Maverick Top Gun, is One Republic wrote a song for that movie called I Ain't Worried.
Nice.
I love that song. That's a great one. And of course, my favorite, Stevie Wonder, Don't You Worry About a Thing.
Nice. Oh, you have a whole like Don't Worry playlist.
Yeah, it's called,
Wow.
I titled it Relax and Trust. Yeah.
We need to put that in the YouTube description so people can check them out.
All right. I will do that.
That's a great discussion. That was really awesome. All right. We're so happy that you joined us today for this episode. Please remember, we are posting a brand new episode for you every single Monday morning. So if you want to get alerted, make sure you subscribe and click the alert button. We truly appreciate you doing whatever your platform that you're listening to us or watching us on allows you to do to support the show. Like, follow, leaving us a comment, writing us a review. All of our social media links and our email address, and hopefully Stephanie's